Throughout this series, I've been trying to make my life seem a little bit more fun, but at the same time trying to deliver very real, realistic, down-to-earth content. But today, let me tell you about 10 things I dislike about South Korea.
Look into my eyes and show me your adventures I haven't seen.
First point is that people always push their way through crowds. It's especially common between ajumas and ajushis. Okay, so uncles and aunties, they are the biggest culprits of this because maybe because of the culture, they feel like they are entitled or, you know, in a position where you should be respecting them and giving way most of the time. But if you don't, they're just gonna push right through anyway. So for example, they think from point A to point B, there's only one way, the shortest possible way to get from one point to the next. And if you're somewhere in between, they're just gonna push you right out of the way. They don't care where you are from, they don't care how young, how old you are, they're just gonna push their way and get their ass across wherever they want to go. So that was a little bit off-putting because I thought that this place was full of respect and respect has to be mutual, so it's not just one way, right? From the young to the elderly. And turns out, come on, there is no respect for the youngsters. If you are like older, you automatically have the right to kind of, you know, bully in a way your way through people, and that kind of ticks me off a little bit. You know what? It ticks me off quite a lot because I don't like crowds and pushing, so this makes it so bad. The second point on the list involves traffic, and it might seem like a very good thing that they have a lot of traffic lights and pedestrian crossings, but at the same time it's not exactly a good thing because they like to make it a system where all the traffic lights go red and green at the same time. So cars go in many different directions at one time. And what I heard recently is that the red light for the cars is kind of more like a suggestion rather than a hard and fast rule to halt in your tracks and let people cross. So it is quite scary to even cross the bloody road because the cars don't seem to slow down unless you make the commitment to cross the damn road. So every time I cross, I always tell myself, you gotta commit and just move. It's a weird system and one that I did not expect from a country or a city like Seoul. The third thing I want to talk about is the public toilets available. It is great that they have a lot of toilets available, but at the same time, the public toilets have a very weird system when it comes to washing your hands. So the tap, the sink is all normal, but the soap is the strange one. I'm very used with liquid soap dispensers. You just push and it comes out, whether automatically or manually, whatever. It is very personal. It is your soap to use as however much you want. But here, they like to use bar soaps. You know, being whether is it hung on a little stick kind of contraption thing or just put there, a bar. A communal bar soap to wash your hands wherever they come from, okay? Cubicle or from your zip, your pants. Wherever you put your hands, you are gonna share the same bar of soap. And that is quite unhygienic and quite disturbing, really. Ugh. Fourth thing I want to talk about is the people. So people here, I thought that this place would be a fashionista paradise where I get to see various diverse fashion and styles. But when I came here, I realized that everyone kind of adopts the same style. So for ladies, they always have the same makeup, or at least a lot of them have the same makeup. White face, so pale, but so smooth looking. Smooth looking, that is the key right there, and very red lipstick. You know, that's it. Like every girl kind of looks the same, and the fringe, you know, it's like kind of like bangs but with a little separation. So it's not a proper one nice fringe curl to any side. It's like straight and a little bit of gap here and there, which is not something that I see a lot back home in Singapore. And so it was quite weird and quite frustrating that, come on, Koreans, you kind of look all the same. Why are you trying to feed that stereotype, you know, that Asians all kind of look the same, Chinese, Koreans, they're all the same. Don't do that. I expected you guys to have a little bit more individualism, you know, express yourself, don't conform to your nation's standard of beauty. What's happening? Ends up everyone here kind of dresses very similarly and puts on makeup in a very similar style as well. And for guys, I thought that you guys would have a little bit better fashion, but all of you adopt street fashion or athleisure, and basically you guys just wear long sleeve, baggy long sleeve shirt with shoulders that are way past your shoulders. Don't do that. It's so sloppy, it's so baggy, it's casual, it's cool, but it kind of looks sloppy after a while. And that's why I have been quite slow to adopt Korean fashion, and I'm not sure if I'm quite willing to. Maybe I will actually, just for fun, but maybe I'll limit myself to just 1 or 2 pieces from Korea, okay? Because the fashion here, it's not easy to translate it back home to Singapore, because I would get judged big time if I try to wear what the Korean guys wear here. You know, baggy ass clothes and white sneakers, or cropped formal pants with white sneakers. You know, that is so informal, and not sure if I can pull it off, but would be fun to give it a shot. I don't know. It's just a little bit weird that, you know, I expected so much more in terms of fashion and looks when it comes to Koreans. So yeah, that's my peeve. Halfway mark, 5th point I want to talk about is fruits. Fruits are so expensive here in Korea, and that is so weird. Come on. I expected you guys to have a healthy diet, but ends up most of your vegetables are kind of pickled or preserved, like kimchi style. But your fruits are so expensive, which makes them inaccessible, which makes it so sad for us. I find myself like relying on fruit juices like from Juicy or Juicy King just to get my vitamins in, you know. And just for example, right, 1 stick with 1 slice of like rock melon, that green melon, beautiful fruit by the way, extremely delicious, but it cost me 1,200 won, and that is pretty expensive for just 1 slice of fruit on a stick. That really disappoints me, because I want to try to be healthy as much as I can, because I'm finding myself very lazy to do much exercise. So please, Korea, fix this fruit issue. I don't know why is it so expensive. Please make it cheaper, at least for the future generations of students, because we as 학생 students, 돈이 없어요, money don't have. Please, Korea. Continuing on with the topic of food, point number 6 involves the overall diet, which kind of feels healthy and clean, but at the same time I feel that it is too carbohydrate heavy. Every meal comes with rice or noodles or rice cake or any form of carbohydrate, and meat, as a meat lover, is quite a scarcity, or you have to pay quite a premium to get a good portion of meat. And that kind of disappoints me, because I really like the food here. You know, I'm not complaining about the taste at all, but it's just that a little bit too much carbohydrates, and I need some protein, you know, at least some more eggs, some more meat. Please, I don't just want to eat tofu and kimchi all day. So please, 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 please make meat more accessible and available in all your dishes or something like that. I don't know. You guys make good carbohydrates. No, don't get me wrong. But it's just... okay, fine, I'm being selfish, right? I'm just complaining about being too many carbs. I have a friend who loves carbohydrates, but for me, I like it, but not too much, because I'm gonna get fatter and fatter if this continues. So it's just a little bit me complaining actually, so don't take me too seriously. Come on. Another little complaint that I have is point number 7, which is men generally do not get free cosmetic samples. So when you go to Myeongdong and walk along the streets and stalls of cosmetic heaven, right? It's a cosmetic heaven for everyone. You would expect to get some free samples for you to try out the products before deciding if you want to buy them. But apparently, guys are not entitled to such a privilege of being offered a sample, right? As much as girls are. So for guys, I don't know, man. Why the generalization that we don't use facial products or cosmetics to try and protect our skin? I mean, I don't put makeup, but I try to moisturize and sunblock and whatnot, right? And I have a right to try on some of your Korean sheet masks or something like that? People want to come here and have fun also, so at least the least you can do as your job, right? To offer the samples, and we will decide whether we want to take it or not. And we would decide from then whether we want to enter your store or just take it and go, being like a tourist that we are. You're just discriminating against guys. Come on, man. We want some skincare too. Don't we want to have better faces? Yeah, we do. So So, come on, Myeongdong, wake up your idea. And while we're on Myeongdong, let me just make a minor complaint, is that it's very irritating when you hear the people outside touting, and when you walk past, they just change their language to Chinese or Mandarin. They just like, lai. That is so annoying because I am not from China or Hong Kong. I am a Singaporean Chinese, and English would be great. Or stick to Korean, that is fine. But at the same time, I understand that it is a very touristy attraction place kind of thing, so you gotta speak in every possible language you can, and probably Chinese tourists are the biggest form of revenue that you guys are earning, so fair play. I just take a little bit of offense. I don't know why, but I just don't really want to be associated with those places that much. Singapore pride. Point number 8 involves shopping again, but this time in general for fashion. So for guys especially, there are very limited options, at least for me. Because for example, if you go to a place like Dongdaemun, it's great, has a lot of options, has a lot of shops. But when you look closely, you look at 90%, maybe, I'm just throwing a random number, but a lot of the proportion of shopping that you can find in Korea is targeted at women. And guys are just left by the wayside a little bit because guys just have generic street clothing, which I mentioned earlier. That's maybe why guys all have very similar fashion. You know, Supreme or Stussy long sleeve, baggy ass shirts, random joggers or skinny jeans or cropped pants, or just random shorts. And then guys would wear slippers out with socks, or no, they're not even the no-show socks, you know, it's like high socks above the ankle socks. Isn't that a little bit backward? I don't know. Or they're just being individualistic, which is great. But if everyone is being individualistic, that's not really individualistic, that's actually collectivistic. And that is really weird. Okay, I find myself complaining about fashion again, so let's go back to shopping. I find that guys are better off shopping at name brands like Uniqlo, H&M, Zara if you like that. Stuff like that, you know. But I like to go to Hollister, Uniqlo, H&M, and there's one Korean brand that I particularly enjoy, which is SPAO, S-P-A-O. They sell pretty decent stuff, and the model is pretty cool. EXO and AOA, in particular Sohyun. I think I mentioned this in one video before while walking around Dongdaemun, but that's besides the point. I just find that there are very limited options for men, while women will find this place or this country a shopping heaven. Point number 9, second last point already, it involves a little bit of fitness, which is gym memberships. They are not exactly that cheap. And it is more especially so for me, who studies in Hanyang University, and the gym is kind of like privatized, so you have to pay per entry. I think that's available, or you can sign up for a gym membership there, and it's not that cheap. It kind of averages out to about 30 to 40,000 won per month, if I remember correctly, based on whatever packages you sign up for, whether 1 month, 2, 3, 4 month membership, and you can include a towel along, or the gym outfit along, or both. And the price just varies accordingly. So the point is, gym memberships are not cheap. So if you want to stay fit, you want to get buff, you want to get swole and impress the chicks, I don't know, it's not that cheap, and you're better off going off on your own, trying to hike, trying to find your own exercise spot out there somewhere, anywhere but the gyms in Korea. And the last point, number 10, involves rubbish. And I don't mean this point is trash, but I'm literally talking about trash, which is rubbish points or dustbins are really hard to find along the streets. This is partly because of their whole idea of recycling and being eco-friendly. They have recycling bins scattered randomly around the streets. I don't know where exactly to find them, but when I do, it's great. But when I don't, you actually find like lampposts or random parts along the street piled with trash. It's like that particular lamppost is a Christmas tree, and the trash around are like the Christmas gifts. You know, all the presents that you see, imagine that as trash. So there are heaps of trash randomly scattered throughout the streets, and that is kind of dirty and disturbing. The good thing is that in the morning, these piles of trash would usually be cleared by some dark horse, dark warriors, soldiers of the night, I don't know, heroes. But then again, as it builds up, it's kind of disturbing to walk along the streets. But it's something that I'll have to get used to, but I don't really like it, because coming from Singapore, which is known as a very clean and green city, to Seoul, which I expect to be relatively clean and relatively green city, it's kinda disturbing to see the whole piles of trash. And what makes it worse is that people sometimes just spit by the street randomly, just on the street, and it's like, what? Come on, don't try not to dirty the place that you walk, right? But you do, and that is so disturbing. It's quite sad to see. And cigarette butts thrown all over the place, and just litter just strewn, whatever the word is, everywhere. And it's just ew, you know. Ugh. You know, with that said, there are some parts in the city which are really clean. Like when you climb mountains, there is no trash along the way, which is awesome. Everyone brings their own bags of trash and they carry them down the mountain with them, which is good. But the streets, you guys don't really take care of that well, so it's confusing and it's just weird. To me, at least, it's weird to me. But I can live with it. Okay, so that's it. 10 points about Seoul or South Korea that I don't really like. All of these items are in no particular order, and I hope that these points have given you a better expectation or better idea of what's to come if you are planning to visit Korea anytime soon. So, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe with all the buttons down below. Let me know what you think of this video, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Peace!